Hello and welcome to this Dofus breeding guide. First, there are 6 important concepts you need to understand: mood, stamina, maturity, love, tiredness, and energy. For a mount to be fertile and reproduce, it needs to have love and stamina above 7500, and it needs to be level 5 or higher. You use Dragobutts to increase love and lightning throwers to increase stamina. To get your mount to level 5, you can either go fight some monsters with it or just feed it an XP potion. When choosing mounts to breed, make sure that their mating is not sterile, because those cannot reproduce. Mating tells you how many times your mount reproduced, and it has a limit of 5 for Drago turkeys, 4 for seamules, and 2 for rhineedles. Now you might ask yourself, if that's all you need to make a mount fertile, then what about mood, maturity, tiredness, and energy? What are those for? Mood is a bar that goes from minus 10,000 to 10,000. You use patters to increase mood and slappers to lower it. Also, when interacting with other breeding items, a female's mood will slowly increase, while a male's mood will slowly decrease. Depending on the mood's current value, it will tell you which other characteristics you can increase. When the mood is positive, you can increase love, and that's why there's a heart on the right side of the bar. When the mood is negative, you can increase stamina, and that's why there's a lightning on the left side of the bar. When the mood is between minus 2000 and 2000, you can increase maturity. Maturity, once you reach the max, will make your mount rideable. Use drinking troughs to increase maturity. Tiredness is a bar that increases the more your mount interacts with breeding items. If you reach maximum tiredness, you will have to wait until the bar goes back down for breeding items to have an effect on your mount. Tiredness goes down by 10 every hour, so when the bar is full, it will take 24 hours to return to 0. Energy lets you ride your mount. You might already be familiar with that. You give it fish if it's a Drago turkey or a seamule, and nuggets if it's a rhineedle. But for breeding, energy also has another use. If both your male and female mounts are at maximum energy before reproducing, then the female will give birth to more babies. By the way, you can also increase your mount's energy by using mangers. Now we get to paddocks. People use private paddocks because they make breeding items more efficient, but you can use public paddocks for free, and no one else will have access to your mounts or your breeding items because each account has its own unique instance of the paddock. The section on the top left is your stable, where you can store a lot of mounts, and the bottom left section is the paddock, where your mounts can interact with breeding items. So you want to set up your paddock with 5 breeding items placed like this near the entrance to leave 2 spaces for your mounts to walk back and forth and hit the breeding items. You can leave your mounts there and they will move on their own, or you can also speed up the process by using specific emotes to push your mounts away from you and pull them back towards you. Many emotes can work, but I recommend using Break Wind and Kiss because they're the easiest ones to get. Once both your male and female mounts are fertile, place them together in the paddock and the female will become pregnant. Then you can place both of them back in the stable and wait until the female gives birth. Different types of mounts have different gestation periods. The time it takes for a Drago turkey to give birth depends on the generation. This table here allows you to check the time for each generation. Seamules always take 72 hours to give birth, and rhineedles take 120 hours. Once the gestation period has passed, you have to visit the paddock within 7 days, or else the mother will have a miscarriage and you will lose the babies. Now I know that was a lot of condensed information, so in case you're still not sure how to start, I want to share with you a practical step-by-step guide on what to do for male and female mounts. So this is some notes I took when I started out, and I always kept it open on the side for reference. Female, you start by getting the mood around minus 400, using either slappers or patters depending on the current mood value. Then increase the stamina to 7500 using lightning throwers, and then since the mood will still be between minus 2000 and 2000, we can increase the maturity to the max. Doing both of these steps will naturally slowly increase the mood since the mount is a female. By the time you're done with maturity, the mood should have reached a positive value, which now allows us to increase love. Get love to 7500 and then increase energy either with food or mangers, and then finally get your mount to level 5. The same logic applies for the male, but it's gonna be in reverse order since the mood naturally goes down for males when interacting with breeding items. Also keep in mind the starting mood value is not very precise, it's just an estimation and it'll depend on the effectiveness of the items you're using. So I've covered everything you need to know to start breeding. I hope the short video format motivated you to learn about breeding. Consider subscribing if you haven't already, and I wish you a happy breeding experience.